Good morning, Mr. Chapman.
Good morning, Your Honor.
It looks like you were busy the other night.
We have had a busy couple days, yeah.
Okay, go ahead when you're ready.
In each of these matters, Mr. Davis is here today after failing to appear before referee Moeller on April 25th, 2024. In the first case, bond is currently set at $968. This is the sixth bench warrant. In the second case, bond is currently $1,692. This is the 11th bench warrant. In the third case, bond is currently $1,834. This is the 8th bench warrant. And in the fourth case, bond is currently $829, and this is the 11th bench warrant. He reports that he is employed by Adult Services. The last payment made on these accounts was on April 30th of 2024. That was not through income withholding, but he has been making some recent minimal payments towards these accounts. The court recommends that reasonable bonds be set in these be set in these matters, and they be scheduled for hearing on May 8th, 2024 at 8:45 a.m. before this court.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to appear at a prior hearing as a result of your failure to pay child support. Purpose of this hearing is to set a bond that would assure your attendance at the next hearing on May 8th, 2024 at 8:45 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Are you able to post a bond, sir?
I got $300 cash. I turned myself in. I noticed I had the Mr. Court dates in the mail, so I just came down here the other day and turned myself in because I didn't know how to get rid of the warrants again. And
okay. Well, what I'm going to do is obviously you've made some minimal payments, so of course considering that, but also considering that you've got in a couple of the cases there are 11 bench warrants, and so the court's taking that into consideration. What I'm going to do in these cases, I'm going to set your bonds in each case in the amount of $100. If you're able to post that, then you'd be able to be released. Do you have any questions?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're free to go. Have a good day.
Yes. Mr. Dykema is here today after failing to appear before referee Jordan on May 19th, 2022. Bond is currently set at $2,555. This is the fifth bench warrant. He reports no employment. The last payment made on this account was in June of 2019. Front of the court recommends that a reasonable bond be set on this matter and it be scheduled for hearing on May 8th, 2024 at 8:45 a.m. before this court.
Mr. Dykema, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to appear at a prior hearing as a result of your failure to pay child support. Purpose of this hearing is to set a bond that would assure your attendance at the next hearing on May 8th, 2024 at 8:45 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Are you able to post a bond, sir?
Not right now, no.
Okay. Well, court notes it is your fifth bench warrant. You haven't paid now in almost 5 years. So
I did turn myself in. I am trying to do the right thing. I'm staying at my grandparents' house, and if you were to let me out, I would be able to pay on my child support.
yeah, okay.
I did turn myself in.
Okay. Well, if you turn yourself in, I'm taking that into consideration. But again, you have a sizable arrearage and you haven't paid, as I said, in 5 years. Court's going to set your bond in this matter in the amount of $500. If you're able to post that, you'd be able to be released. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go.
Mr. Goodwill is here today after failing to appear before this court on May 18th, 2022. Bond is currently set at $1,273. This is the sixth bench warrant. He reports that he is self-employed. Last payment made on this account was in September of 2021. Front of the court recommends that a reasonable bond be set on this matter and it be scheduled for hearing on May 8th, 2024 at 8:00 a.m. before this court.
Mr. Goodwill, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to the failure to appear at a prior hearing as a result of your failure to pay child support. Purpose of this hearing is to set a bond that would assure your attendance at the next hearing on May 8th, 2024 at 8:00 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Are you able to post the bond, sir?
No, sir. I just started a job with my for my niece doing daycare service.
Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reduce your bond in hopes that you could be released, but I know you previously had 6 bench warrants that you haven't paid now in close to, 2.5 years.
My mail that I'm supposed to be going directly to my house, somebody has been breaking into my mailbox and stuff. And so far, I have not got a mail from at least about 7 months. And I have went to the post office and all that type of stuff. And they was like, well, were you supposed to come and fix your mailbox? Or they wanted me to get a PR box. And I don't know how to do the PR box thing. So they supposed to be fixing my mail. And I just first got my first piece of mail day before yesterday.
Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do is, again, I'm gonna reduce your bond in hopes that you could be released. I'm gonna set your bond in the amount of $500. If you're able to post that, you'd be able to be released. Do you have any questions?
I won't be able to post that, sir, because I'm
Okay.
in the process of I have to move.
Okay, well, we'll see you on May 8th and be able to take care of everything then.
Okay,
Ms.
You can go.
Kumar is here today after
Okay,
failing
thank
to
you.
appear before this court on March 11th, 2020. Bond is currently set at $1,448. This is the second bench warrant. She reports no employment. Last payment made on this account was in December of 2019. Front of the court recommends that a reasonable bond be set in this matter and it be scheduled for hearing on May 8th, 2024 at 8:00 a.m. before this court.
Ms. Krumho, on this matter, you're before the court based upon your failure to appear at a prior hearing. You're charged with civil contempt of court, and as a result of your failure to pay child support. Purpose of this hearing is to set a bond that would assure your tenants at the next hearing on May 8th, 2024, at 8:00 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Are you able to post a bond, ma'am?
No,
Okay.
I'm in the process of applying for Social Security. I have an appointment with them. Actually, on May 8th.
Okay.
with my
Well,
doctor.
what happens is the court notes that this is your second bench warrant and you haven't paid in over.
I didn't know.
You haven't paid in 4.5 years. So the court's taking all
She
that.
just turned 19.
What?
I'm sorry, she just turned 19
Okay,
and she
well,
graduated school last year.
that's fine, but you have a spousal support arrearage from having.
Can
not
I make
paid.
payment arrangements?
What?
Can I make payment arrangements? And I'm
Well,
getting put on Social Security. Also,
You'll have
I
a
was trying
chance to speak to your enforcement worker for the hearing next week, and then you can talk about coming up with some sort of a arrangement in this particular matter. I am going to reduce your bond in hopes that you could be released pending that hearing. I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $500.
I'm not going to be able to do that. Can you please make it lower, please?
Nope. You
I have no way of paying that,
you haven't paid in 4.5 years, ma'am.
but I'm disabled.
Okay, well, there's no
I need-
determination of that
can you
yet,
please-
so we'll have to.
Can you please make it $100?
How much?
100?
No, you owe a
Please.
substantial amount.
There's
No.
no way I'm going to be able to pay 500.
Okay, well, you will remain in jail.
And my
until
daughter- and
the
my
8th,
daughter's
then we'll
birthday
have
was
a chance to
yesterday.
talk to you. That's what the bond will be set at. You're free to go. Thank you.
Are you serious? I have a doctor's appointment.
In each of these matters, Mr. Graham is here today after failing to appear before this court on August 16th, 2023. In the first case, bond is currently set at $1,076. This is the 12th bench warrant. In the second case, bond is currently $506. This is the 10th bench warrant. And in the third case, bond is currently $500, and this is the 6th bench warrant. He reports that he is employed at Pizza Hut. Last payment made on these accounts was in March of 2024. That was through income withholding with a different employer. Front of the court recommends that reasonable bonds be set on these matters and they be scheduled for hearing on May 8th, 2024 at 8:00 a.m. before this court.
Mr. Graham, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to appear at a prior hearing as a result of your failure to pay child support. Purpose of this hearing is to set a bond that would assure your tenants at the next hearing on May 8th, 2024 at 8:00 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Are you able to post a bond, sir?
Oh, sorry, I got about a couple of dollars to my name, not really.
Okay. Well, what the court's going to do is, court notes you have substantial bench warrants. You have 12, 10, and 6 respectively. But the court does note you did pay through income withholding back in March. So the court's taking that into consideration. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce your bond in the 95 case, I'll set your bond in the amount of $100. In the other two cases, I'll set the bond in the amount of $50 each. If you're able to post that, you'd be able to be released. But you have to make sure you're back by the next week on the 8th. And if you're not, you won't get a favorable bond in the future. You understand, sir?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Okay, you're free to go. Have a good day.
You too, sir.
It's up to 90 days in jail. Do you understand the
I have
charges?
a couple of bench warrants for the.
Yes,
record,
sir.
if I may.
Court has appointed Mr. Sackreiter to represent you in this matter. Have you had sufficient opportunity to speak to Mr. Sackreiter in preparation for this hearing?
I do believe so, sir.
Okay, Mr. Sackreiter, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Champlin is before the court this morning on docket 2008 S1. He has a monthly obligation of $147.50. His last payment was October 4th of 2022. That was $282, and that was a self-payment. Mr. Champlin failed to appear on July 19th of 2023 for an adjourned show cause hearing before Your Honor. This is his first bench warrant hearing. For 10 months of compliance, he should have paid $1,475. He's paid nothing. Total arrears through the end of April are $1,661. Mr. Champlin began paying support in March of 2019. The minor child had resided with him and now resides with a third-party payee. Just for the record, Mr. Champlin was terminated from the LEAP program in March of 2023. Medical documentation was sent to him in May of 2023. He failed to return that. He did book into the Calhoun County Jail on April 23rd.
Okay. Mr. Sackreiter, do you dispute or contest any of the statements made by Ms. Brown? We have a connection issue with Mr. Sackreiter. Okay. Question was, do you dispute or contest any of the statements made by Ms. Brown?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have questions for Ms. Brown?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay. Any proofs, Mr. Sackreiter?
Yes, I call Mr. Champlin.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Champlin, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, you heard the testimony of Ms. Brown. Was there anything that you disagreed with?
What she said was namely true. Basically what had happened with Michigan Works is I had been filling out the paperwork for Michigan Works. I don't recall exactly how long I was doing that for. I think it was more than 10 weeks, I believe. And the lady at Michigan Works started getting impatient with me because I was having trouble finding a job due to not graduating high school because of a learning disability and because of she got upset with me and started doubling and tripling how much work I was supposed to turn in, and I did everything I could to stay 100% in compliance because I know this is not a game or a joke. And I know that the court was giving me an opportunity, you know, and so also too, I did turn in my paperwork to my doctor, and my doctor said that she was not willing or wanting, she did not believe that I was not able to work. And so she was not willing to fill that paperwork out. And that's why that paperwork did not get returned to Miss Sonia Brown. And as I told Kevin Sackreiter, that I do have a elderly grandparent that wants me to help her maintain her yard. And I would be able to start immediately making some sort of a payment once I am able to help her work on the yard work, to at least try to make a minimum payment and try to get this thing turned around, try to get this completely turned around. That's what my intentions truly are. And
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What is your highest level of education completed?
9th grade.
Are you able to read and write?
I'm able to read and comprehend what I read pretty well. I'm not able to write. I'm not able to put my thoughts on paper very well at all.
All right. Do you have issues with transportation?
Yes, yes, sir. Currently, I do have problems with transportation. I don't have my own vehicle. I do have some health issues that I'm struggling with. But I'm not going to let any of that get in my way. You know, I've been here for 7 days. I've got some good clarity going on, and I know that it's my responsibility as a man to take care of my little girl, and I intend on doing that. And I just ask that the court give me this one last opportunity to show you that I mean well, and I will not let you down.
All right. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay. Mr. Champlin, how have you been able to support yourself in the last year?
Your Honor, I've been living with my father and my mother, and I have been receiving some aid from the state.
So you haven't had any income in that time?
No, I have not, sir.
Okay. Let's say in the last year, what have you done to acquire employment?
To be honest, sir, I haven't done anything meaningful. That's why, you know, after being here, I just want to try to turn everything around. I see the error in my ways. That's all I can say is I can see the error in my ways, you know, and it's not okay.
Okay. Anything else by you, Mr. Sackrider?
No, nothing further.
Okay. Well, court will make the following finding in this matter. Mr. Champlin does have a minimal support obligation, $147.50 per month, that he has not paid anything since back in October of 2022. So he's now a year and a half past his last payment. In the last year, he has stated he's residing with family members and that he hasn't done anything meaningful to acquire employment within that time. The court will therefore find that he has failed to exercise good faith attempt at compliance. He's failed to refuse to comply and failed to make a substantial or valid effort to comply. And as a result, the court will find him to be in contempt of court. Anything before sentencing, Mr. Sackrider?
Yes, thank you. I would note that my client has 0 prior contempt findings, that he has been incarcerated since April 23rd of this year. He testified that he does have a learning disability, which makes it more difficult to fill out applications. My client does live with payee in this case. He's testified that he is willing to find employment. And so we would ask that he be sentenced to time served, be released today, and begin paying on this child support obligation. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, in this matter, the court had previously held to be in contempt. Obviously, some of the things Mr. Sackrider said are true, but he has acknowledged that he hasn't done anything in well over a year, and that would be consistent with the records. What I'm going to do is, Mr. Champlin, I could sentence you up to 45 days. I'm not going to do that because it is your first attempt, or I mean, your first contempt finding in this matter. And your arrearage is not overwhelming. So taking all of that into consideration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sentence you to 21 days in jail with credit for 8 days served. Court will put a purge amount in place of $500. If you're able to pay the purge amount, you would not have to serve the remaining time. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go. Have a good day, and I hope things turn around for you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Rodney Davis.
I know, but
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have.
We're ready for you now, Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court duty or failure to pay child support and or related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. Do you understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
Court has appointed Mr. Sackrider to represent you in this matter. Have you had sufficient opportunity to speak to Mr. Sackrider in preparation for this hearing?
Yes, sir, I have.
And Mr. Sackrider, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Tolf, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before the court is Rodney Davis of 7 dockets. We're here today for all cases on a bench warrant hearing after Mr. Davis failed to appear before this court on April 3rd, 2024. Starting off with docket number 2003, Mr. Davis's total monthly obligation is $16. This docket is arrears only as the minor children have emancipated, so he is ordered to pay $12.50 per month on arrears and $3.50 towards service and processing fees. His last payment was $120.06 on January 21st, 2021. On this docket, it is his 12th show cause. He's had 12 bench warrants and 8 previous contempt findings. Monitoring his compliance for the last 6 months at the rate of $16 per month means he should have paid $96 and he has paid nothing. His total arrears on this docket are currently at $27,965.98. Moving on to docket number 2003, Mr. Davis's total monthly obligation is $33.50. This case is also arrears only, so per guideline, he should be paying $30 per month on arrears and $3.50 for processing fees. His last payment received on this docket was $17.65 on January 21st, 2021. It is his 12th show cause. He's had 12 bench warrants and 8 previous contempt findings. Monitoring his compliance for the last 6 months at the rate of $33.50 per month means he should have paid $201 and he has paid nothing. Total arrears on this docket are at $6,744.08. On docket number 2000, Mr. Davis's total monthly obligation is $77. This comes from $49 for current support, the guideline amount of $24.50 for arrears, and $3.50 for processing fees. The last payment received on this docket was $20.54 in January of 2021. On this docket, he has had 11 show causes, 11 bench warrants, and 7 previous findings of contempt. Measuring compliance for the last 6 months at $77 per month means he should have paid $462 and he has paid nothing. Arrears on this docket are at $8,886.98. Docket number 2000, Mr. Davis's total monthly obligation is $86. This comes from $55 for current support, the guideline amount of $27.50 for arrears, and $3.50 for service and processing fees. Last payment received on this docket was $8.67 on January 21st, 2021. He has had 8 show causes, 8 bench warrants, and 4 previous contempt findings. Measuring compliance for the last 6 months at $86 means he should have paid $516 and he has paid nothing. Total arrears on this docket are at $5,980.07. Docket number 2013, total monthly obligation is $81.50. This comes from $52 for current support, the guideline amount of $26 towards arrears, and $3.50 for fees. His last payment received on this docket was $23.71 in January of 2021. He has had 5 show causes, 5 bench warrants, and 1 previous contempt finding. Measuring compliance for the last 6 months at a rate of $81.50 means he should have paid $489 and he has paid nothing. Total arrears on this docket are currently at $21,358.77 through the month of April. On docket number 2015, his total monthly obligation is $87.50. This comes from $56 for current support and the guideline amount for arrears of $28 plus $3.50 for service and processing fees. Last payment received was $83.43 in January of 2021. He has had 4 show causes, 4 bench warrants, and 1 previous contempt finding. Measuring compliance for the last 6 months at $87.50 means he should have paid $525 and he has paid nothing. Current arrears are at $11,516.67. And lastly, docket 2021, Davis's total monthly obligation is $225.50. This comes from $148 for current support, the guideline amount of $74 for arrears, and $3.50 for processing fees. He has never made a payment on this docket. He has had 1 show cause, 2 bench warrants, and no contempt findings. Arrears on this docket are currently at $4,497. Friend of the court would like your honor to be aware that when I spoke to Mr. Davis in Calhoun County Jail in January of 2014, he did report to me that he could not work due to a gunshot injury, and he also had stated he had been approved for Social Security benefits. He was released from Calhoun County Jail at that time in order to provide friend of the court with medical documentation as well as Social Security documentation, which he never did. He does have previous 90-day jail sentences on all dockets besides the 2021 docket, and he booked into Calhoun County Jail on April 19th, 2024.
Okay, well, that doesn't tell me how many days credit he has because I don't know when he got out.
I believe it's 13 days, Your Honor.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
okay, thanks. Mr. Sackrider, do you contest or dispute any of the statements made by Ms. Stolf?
No, Your Honor.
You have any questions for Ms. Stolf?
No, I don't.
Okay, any proofs, Mr. Sackrider?
Yes, I call Mr. Davis.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Davis, you've been in jail for 13 days. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you being held on any other criminal matters?
I have a charge possession to I go to court tomorrow where I will get probation. I will be on probation for that.
Okay. It was alleged that you failed to appear at a previous court date. Did you receive notice of that?
I believe it went to my mailing address, but my mailing address is not my home. So I would have came if I would have known, but my mother, for some reason, just gets my mail now. I have so many court papers coming to the house now. She doesn't even open them. It doesn't even tell me when I have them. So I would have never missed it if I would have known. I've been on the up and up for a minute now.
Do you have any medical conditions that are preventing you from finding work?
Yeah, I have bullets on my back. I'm supposed to have surgery on the 22nd of this month, and my sciatic nerve, like my left bottom, long story short, bottom of my leg, my left leg doesn't cooperate with me anymore. Doesn't work.
All right, so
go ahead. I'm sorry.
You have bullets in your back?
Yeah, I was shot. Believe when I stopped making pay, I was shot on a couple years ago. I was shot and injured.
All right. Are you applying for Social Security disability income?
Yes, I was applying for Social Security right around the time she said. I didn't know if I said if I was approved or not, but I'm sorry if I made mistakes in the court. I was denied, but now I'm going back through the process, and I got to go to the doctor and do all that stuff. But I can show that I actually have documentations of me going through that process. So,
all right. Sorry, go ahead.
I just did when they released me. I released from here and went to Kalamazoo County Jail. I didn't go straight home. I went straight to Calhoun County Jail, and then I was released about a month and a half or two ago. And I missed. I should have got a proof of incarceration because I didn't know it was the 4th of April.
All right. Ms. Tolf said she's asked you for documentation of your injury and your Social Security application, but that she has not received that. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
All right. What is the issue of providing her medical documentation?
It really wasn't an issue. It's when I got out of jail, I didn't go home. I went to Kalamazoo. It's no issue for me to get out and come down there and provide documentations of my surgery that's coming up. It's really no issue of that. I just was being irresponsible and not staying on track with what I need to be doing.
All right. So you were booked into Calhoun County Jail in mid-April. When were you incarcerated before that?
I was incarcerated in January, and then I got out of here and I went to Kalamazoo Jail on my release of here. I don't know the exact dates. On my release of here, I went to Kalamazoo Jail and served some time there. I served about a month there, and some days there, and then I got out.
That was this year?
Yeah, that was this year.
All right. How did you support yourself from when you were released from Kalamazoo County Jail to your incarceration in Calhoun County in April?
I really have no support. I get food stamps, and then I stay with my children's mother. So I'm staying with my son's mom right now, and I really don't have no income until I get approved for my SSI or my Summit Point. I have Summit Point. I'm starting to go through Summit Point. So right now I have no income.
Okay. What services are you receiving at Summit Point?
I'm trying to get that. I'm going through them to try to get my SSI. I believe it's SSI. But I'm just having meetings right now and trying to get approved because I was denied the first time, for which I don't know why I wasn't not approved, but I'm still going through the whole other process again. Now I gotta have the bullet taken out my back and I have to do so much to get approved. I don't know what's the problem with me getting approved with it, but I'm just fighting it. I'm just fighting to get that done because I can't work and my leg is really torn to pieces.
All right. What is your surgery on May 22nd for?
To get the bullets out my back. It's not really my leg that's messed up. It's my sciatic nerve from when I was shot. There's something about my sciatic nerve that goes down to my left foot. So it's tore up, and they said the bullet can move, so I have to get the bullet out of there. And I guess that's what they want me to do, just to get approved for SSI, which I don't get that because I didn't want to have the surgery, but that's the process I have to go through.
All right. When were you shot?
I believe right around I think 22nd, around this year on the 22nd. Not the 22nd of this day, but the year 2022. Around this time 2 years ago, basically. I'm sorry.
All right. What's your highest level of education completed?
I graduated high school.
All right. Anything else you would like the court to know?
My stepchild's I just want to see if I can get released and bring these documents down here. My stepchild is currently going through some medical conditions where he's going back and forth to the hospital, and I just have to be there for my son because no one's capable of watching my son at the time. It's just my life is just a lot of chaotic, so I'm just trying to get back home so I can watch my son for my fiance can deal with her children the way she's properly can. Because my son is only my son just turned 1 on the 20th, and I miss his birthday and all that. But he has no current. We have nobody to watch him. We don't have childcare or anything like that. And my mother's been dealing with it, and I just want to get home so I can deal with that.
All right. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Davis, obviously you have some issues, and you're not helping yourself when you don't communicate with your enforcement officer. What have you done in the last year to acquire employment or anything?
I actually can't stand no longer than 5 minutes on my foot. Like to be honest, I haven't really looked for work because I know I can't work with my back problems and the pain. So I'm not going to sit here and tell a lie like I've been looking for employment. I've actually been looking to try to get my disability and my things going on so I can pay child support off with that. My injuries are, I could have died of my injuries. So I don't know how my leg works, or they try to explain it to me, but I can't stand on my 2 feet.
Okay. Anything else you'd like me to be aware of, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, the court's heard the testimony in this matter that Mr. Davis has stated that he is suffering from the consequence of a gunshot wound back in 2022, that Ms. Talford asked him to provide medical documentation about his injuries as well as his Social Security claim, and he states that he did not provide that to her, and he states that he was irresponsible in not doing that, and the court would agree with him in that matter. She's trying to help him and see if there's a basis as to what that he can't work, et cetera, and she can't do that when she has no information. He claims that he still has the issues concerning his health problems, but he states he was denied for a Social Security disability, and he is not providing medical documentation that the court can make any assessment of in this matter, and that as a result, the court will find that he's failed to exercise good faith attempt at compliance. He's failed to refuse to comply in this matter. The last payment was back in 2021. That was prior to his gunshot wound, actually more than a year prior to that. And he hasn't made any payments since that time. So now we're going on close to 3.5 years. Yes, sir.
I was just being irresponsible. I do have the documentation. I just didn't bring it down to her.
Okay, well, it doesn't help us unless you bring it down. So if you don't bring it down to us, it's like you don't have it. So that's all I can tell you.
Okay.
So the court will find that he is in contempt of court in this matter, and anything before sentencing Mr. Sackrader.
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask that he be sentenced to time served, that he be released from jail today so that he can get that medical documentation and complete his application for Social Security and disability income. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, in this matter, based upon Mr. Davis's failure to utterly comply with anything and any request in this matter, and based upon his past records where he has had 12 bench warrants, 12 show causes, that he has at the most, he has 8 prior contempt findings in this matter. The court, well, now with this, he's got 9 contempt findings. The court is going to sentence him to 90 days in jail with credit for 13 days served. The court will allow him to purge himself of contempt by paying the sum of $200 at each of his cases. And that will be the order of the court. Sir, you had a question?
Last time I was here, I served 14. Would I get credit for those?
You'll get credit for the 13 days that you served at this time.
What about one more thing? I was supposed to have surgery.
Well, you'll have to work that out. That's not an issue, not a problem for us. So you'll have to work it out, sir.
Okay.
Okay, that will be the order of the court. You're free to go. Have a good day.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Eddie, we're ready for you.
Okay.
Hello.
Mr. Eddie, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
Court has appointed Mr. Sackrader to represent you. Have you had sufficient opportunity to speak to Mr. Sackrader in preparation for this hearing?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Sackrader, you ready to proceed? Barrington,
Yes,
you
Your
can
Honor.
proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here today on one matter for docket 20 versus Andrew Eddy. We're here for a bench warrant hearing as Mr. Eddy failed to appear at a January 8th, 2024 show cause hearing before referee Snyder. Mr. Eddy's current monthly obligation, total monthly obligation is $585.50. That consists of $304 for current support. He should be paying $194 according to guideline towards his arrears, and $84 monthly confinement and $3.50 service and processing fees. I measured his compliance for 6 months at the $585.50. Mr. Eddy should have paid $3,513. He has paid nothing. Mr. Eddy has actually never paid his obligation in this matter. He has a total arrears of $11,750.50 as of April 30th, 2024. This is his second show cause and second bench warrant. Mr. Eddy reports to the front of the court that he works side jobs to make money. He has failed to participate in the LEAP program for a total of 3 times, twice in 2023. He was booked into the Calhoun County Jail on April 22nd, 2024 on this and other matters, resulting in credit for 9 days today. Mr. Eddy does have the ability to work, but has thus far failed to prioritize paying anything towards his child support obligation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Sackrider, do you dispute or contest any of the statements made by Ms. Barrington?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for Ms. Barrington?
No, I don't.
Any proofs, Mr. Sackrider?
I'll call Mr. Eddy.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Mr. Eddy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You heard the testimony of Ms. Barrington. Was there anything that you disagreed with?
No, or that.
All right. Do you have other pending criminal matters?
Yeah, substance, yeah, substance abuse.
Okay. Do you struggle with substance abuse or alcohol?
Yes, I do.
All right. Are you, what are you going to do to treat that?
Hopefully, get rehab in drug court.
All right.
Structure on my habit and approach my priorities correctly.
All right. Are you willing to participate in those programs moving forward?
Yes, sir.
All right. When was the last time you were employed?
It's been a couple of years.
All right. She testified you've been incarcerated for 9 days. Were you incarcerated prior to that?
No, sir.
All right. How were you supporting yourself?
Panhandling and side jobs here and there.
All right. Are you homeless?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you had no income?
No, sir.
Were you looking for employment?
No, sir. No.
And why is that?
I didn't have an ID, and then trying to at least go by and visit my daughter. I don't want to make no excuses. And I just not following through, not putting my best foot forward. So.
Speak up, please, sir. I can't hear you.
See, I wasn't following through my priorities, putting my best foot forward, so I don't want to say anything that sounds like an excuse.
Okay. Do you have any felonies on your record?
Yes, I do.
All right. Do those hinder your ability to find employment?
Sometimes not really. There's opportunities.
All right. What's your highest level of education completed?
GED.
All right. What is your plan to pay your child support obligation in the future?
First is take these steps to get my my addiction under hand and go to rehab, and then go from there.
All right. She testified that your current support amount is $304 per month. Are you willing to take steps to file a motion to have that reconsidered?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else you would like to tell the court?
That I would appreciate some help, and hopefully and certainly in the near future, do the right thing to handle my priorities, my business correctly.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Eddie, you stated that you worked odd jobs and things of that nature. How much on a given month, on an average month, would you say you make from your odd jobs?
Probably, depending on the job, you know, it could be like less than 50, could be 50 or more.
Okay, you're gonna have to speak up again. Your head's down, so I can't hear you.
I say it could be 50 or more. It could be less than 50. It all depends on the job. Lately, it's been like little to nothing. Recent to me coming in here, I had just acquired a side job where I was going to be clearing out a house because somebody had just purchased a home. So I was going to help them get that home together for them.
Anything else you'd like me to be aware of, sir?
No, sir.
Oh, okay, thank you. Well, in this matter, Ms. Barrington, you stated, have there been any prior contempt findings?
No prior contempt findings,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. In this matter, that Mr. Eddie did confirm that he has worked odd jobs where he made a minimal amount. He made sometimes more than $50, sometimes less in a given month. Court will note that he's failed to participate in the LEAP program, given 3 opportunities to do so, where he could find employment. That he states that he has substance abuse issues, but it looks like he's going to get that resolved through drug court, and that he hasn't been employed for a number of years. He stated he's not looking for employment, and he did have the ability to. He has his GED, and therefore he could acquire employment, but he's really doesn't show that he's taken any attempt to do so. The court will find that, again, he is well aware of his support obligation in this matter, that he's fails and or refused to pay, that he's not exercised good faith attempt at compliance, and he's failed to comply. Therefore, he is in contempt of court. Anything before sentencing, Mr. Sackwright?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask that my client be sentenced to time served, that he be released from jail today so he can continue to look for employment and begin paying on his child support obligation. Thank you.
No. Can't give him an opportunity to continue to look for employment because he's not looking, and he acknowledged that. What the court's going to do in this matter is the court, Mr. Eddie, I could sentence you up to 45 days in jail. I'm not going to do so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sentence you to 30 days in jail with credit for 9 days served and allow you to purge yourself of contempt by paying a sum of $500. Have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go. Have a good day. Before the court charges with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand the charges?
Yes.
Okay. And the court has appointed Mr. Sackwright to represent you in this matter. Had you have sufficient opportunity to speak to Mr. Sackwright in preparation for this hearing? Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Did you have sufficient opportunity to speak to Mr. Sackwright?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Sackwright, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Barrington, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're before the court today on one matter for docket 2010-1 Deshaun Clark versus Marcus Wright. This is a bench warrant hearing. Mr. Wright failed to appear for a January 4th, 2021 show cause hearing before referee Delmont. Mr. Wright's total monthly obligation is $78.50. That's $25 for current support and an ordered amount of $50 towards his arrears plus $3.50 service and processing fees. I measured his compliance for the last 6 months at $78.50. Mr. Wright should have paid $471. He has paid nothing. His total arrears on this case are $1,140.87 as of April 30th, 2024. This is Mr. Wright's 7th show cause, 10th bench warrant, and he has had 3 previous contempt findings, the last of which was in February of 2018 when he was sentenced to 17 days in the county jail with credit for 17 days. Mr. Wright did post a cash bond of $500 on April 1st, 2024, which friend of the court would request be forfeit and applied to this docket. Mr. Wright has reported that he is self-employed and just doesn't think he should have to pay.
Okay. Sir, Sack Rider, do you contest or dispute anything that Ms. Barrington has stated?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any questions for Ms. Barrington?
Yes. Did Mr. Wright make payments in 2023? When was his last payments?
Sorry about that, Mr. Sackrider. His last payment that front of the court in Calhoun County received was on September 6th, 2023 in the amount of $390.44.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay, any proofs, Mr. Sack Rider?
Yes, I call Mr. Wright.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Mr. Wright, you heard the testimony of Ms. Barrington. Was there anything that you disagreed with?
Oh yes, I paid $700 in August of 23 of last year. I have receipts and everything for that. Calhoun, my FOC officer, knows that I paid that as well. Like, and that was $1,100 total.
Okay, and was that your understanding of the arrears in this case?
Yes.
Okay, were you aware of an ongoing child support obligation beyond that?
No, not at all. I was never aware of anything, no mail or anything. I just know my arrears was going down. Like my kid's mom, like I was telling you, took me off child support years ago, and I was stuck with arrears, which started at $4,000, and it always went down. Yeah, that's why I was left with. When I was incarcerated in Jackson County, they said that I had a hold on me, so I have to pay that $1,100 that would have got me out, and that's what I did. And I thought it was over then. Yeah, it was
Okay.
$1,100, not $390. It was $1,100.
All right, you posted a bond of $500 on April 1st of this year. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you willing to put that towards your child support?
Yes. All of that, if that's the case. Yes.
All right. She testified that the remaining arrears are approximately $1,100. Is that your understanding?
No, not at all. I have old mail that says my arrears was only, I said it was supposed to be 900 before I got incarcerated in Jackson County last year. I was told it was just 900. Then I guess it was some extra fees, so they said it was 1,100, and that would be it. It would be all paid up. This is what I was told. This is what I know that from what I was told. So by me paying that up, they released me. Like they released me, and now all of a sudden I have $1,115 to pay. I just don't understand that at all. And my arrears are supposed to be over.
All right. When were you incarcerated in Jackson County?
Last year, July 23rd.
When were you released?
October 2nd.
All right. And since that time, were you working?
No, I just had my own business, like what I told you.
All right. What kind of work was that?
Well, I do custom work on vehicles, chrome detailing and decal vinyl work and things like that, tint windows.
Okay. And on average, how much do you earn per month?
It varies. It's just really anytime somebody calls and want me to do some work for them. So, I can't really say exactly how much a month.
Okay. Are you currently taking any classes or participating in any services?
Yes, I have anger management class that I pay $60 every week. Then I have other legal matters that's going on where I'm actually paying a lawyer because of some other legal matters I have going on. Accountability class, $80 a week. So I have so much going on right now. I thought this child support would be done right now. And it's it seems to me as they not getting the money. She just thought I had only paid $390, but I paid well over that, which was $1,100. That's why I was released. And I called immediately when I got out of October 2nd. And they said, they see you paid it. I talked to my FOC officer at the time. I believe she's a new FOC officer, and they see it all. They see what I paid. So.
All right. She says she testified you failed to appear at a January 4th show cause hearing. Were you aware of that hearing?
In 2021?
In 2024?
No. In 24, no, I wasn't.
Sorry, Kevin, the hearing he failed to appear at actually was January 4th, 2021, before referee Delmont.
Okay, my apologies. Anything else you would like to tell the court?
I'm just I have so much going on. The last address to where Deshaun, my kid's mom, is, she's not currently living there. I don't see my son. at all. And I just kind of like want this to be over with. Like I said, all I know is I paid my arrears up. That's how I was released. I have letters saying that that my arrears always went down. Anytime I paid them, it goes down till it's almost up. This is what I know it was supposed to be over with. I never knew about me paying, and I believe she said $78 a month now. I don't know nothing about that. Like, it's all new to me, what I'm hearing now. You know, so I just kind of like want this to be over.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay. Sir, what's your highest grade attended?
12.
Excuse me?
12.
Okay. And you couldn't give us a number on your average monthly income. Just if you could take, okay, let's say over the past few months, could you average that out so we have an idea?
I really can't. It's like random times that I might have a customer call that they want some like work done to their vehicle. So it like varies. Sometimes it could be.
Okay, well, tell me what this last month or the month we're in, the month of April. Well, we're in May now. The month of April, what did you make?
I would say probably maybe a few $300 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
And March of 2024, what did you make?
I have no idea, sir.
Okay.
You know, I just make my money when it, you know, kind of like when it comes, you know.
What, anything else you'd like to tell me, sir?
I just really, you know, it's been a long time since this been going on. Oh man, I believe since 2011. And I just like kind of want to just get to the bottom of this, because like I really don't have no money like that. I'm just got other legal matters going on. I just at least wish I could see my son after all this. I don't even know where he's at, you know. So
let me ask you, you said that are you paying any support obligation on any other children in any other counties?
No.
Okay.
I do have other children, but no, their mom moved with them to Oklahoma. So I'm actually in a legal matter now where I'm fighting to get joint custody for them, and she's in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So,
okay, but obviously if she has custody, there's a support order, isn't there?
No, I don't have any child support or anything for them. She actually took me off child support in 2018 for them. You know, I've always took care of my kids and everything. So, yeah, so I don't even have child support for them.
Okay.
And that's in Jackson County.
Jackson County, Michigan.
Yes.
Well, of course, just trying to figure out why, if the amount you claim that you paid the $1,100 doesn't show up in Calhoun County. If you had a support obligation in another county, they could have intercepted and taken a portion of that. So you'll have to check it. I'll let you know, sir, too. You have a right to request an audit. I would recommend you request an audit so you can see where that money went and what's currently happening with your arrearage and your support obligation. Well, in this matter, the respondent states that he is self-employed, that he does vehicle detailing and other work as well, that he did in April of 2024, so he made maybe $300. He couldn't recall any other amounts that he had paid or that he made in these particular matter. That he has a high school education, that again, his support obligation is minimal. It's only $78.50. He believes that somehow it was vacated or canceled or something by the mother. But all we can go is based upon what we have now, and that shows that he has a current obligation. That would explain why, when he thought he paid it off in September, that in fact it continued at this time. What happens, the court will find that, again, he did have the ability to pay in this matter with the working as he has, that he has failed or refused to pay. He's not made a good faith attempt at compliance, and therefore he is in contempt of court. Anything before sentencing, Mr. Sackride?
Well, yes, Your Honor, given the total amount of arrears, given the payment history in this case, and that my client has posted a $500 bond that he's willing to put towards the arrears, That would cut the arrears in half, bringing them close to $500 remaining. He does dispute that outstanding amount. Given that, Your Honor, we would ask that the court not impose any jail sentence and allow my client to figure that out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I speak or say something?
Yes, yep, go ahead, sir.
Okay, now, I do have like receipts that I paid that, $1,100.
Yeah, well, that's why I said that you can request an audit, and then you can see what the front of the court comes up with and shows, and then you can bring forth any documentation you have to contest what their records show.
Your Honor,
Okay, because my FOC officer says she has it. She's seen it. She looked it up the last time I spoke with her a couple of weeks ago.
Ms.
I am happy
Darrington?
to clarify, Your Honor.
Okay,
Mr. Wright did pay $700 in August of 2023. August 25th, 2023, he paid $700. That was applied to this docket in full, but he, again, in September of 2023, September 6th, 2023, he made a payment of $405, but he does have arrears remaining on his Jackson County case, and due to federal distribution, what Calhoun County received was $390.04.
that's what I was trying to find out. So even though that matter has been closed out, Mr. Wright, you do still have an arrearage in that particular matter that you have to take care of, and that's why it wasn't all credited to Calhoun County.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know that, but now I know.
So the court in this matter would first, the court would forfeit the bond previously posted by Mr. Wright in this matter. Mr. Wright, I could sentence you up to 90 days in jail. I'm not going to do that because the arrearage amount, especially with the forfeiture of the bond, is going to be minimal. What I'm going to do is the court will sentence you at this time to 21 days in jail with credit for no time served. The court would allow you to purge yourself of contempt by paying the sum of $200. The court would order that you would report to the Calhoun County Sheriff no later than 4:00 p.m. on May 10th, 2024. And if you pay the $200, you do not have to spend the time in jail. And I will tell you, if you don't appear, you don't pay the $200 and you don't appear on the May 10th date, that the court could sentence you to additional time in this particular matter. So you need to take care of that or show up to the sheriff's department.
Okay, so I paid $200 immediately.
Yep, before the 10th, and
Before the
therefore you would not have to serve the 14 days.
Yes, I would rather do that because I'm out on bond for another case, which is serious.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
So,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I'll take you.
20 days, they sentence you. Okay. Pay the money and you won't have to serve the time, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go. Have a good day. Boyer, in
You
this
too.
matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court duty or failure to pay child support and or related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Court has appointed Mr. Sackreiter to represent you. Have you had sufficient opportunity to speak to Mr. Sackreiter in preparation for this hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Sackreiter, you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Matter of Devers versus Jason Boyer. Mr. Boyer is before the court for a bench warrant hearing after failing to appear on August 20th of 2021 for a show cause hearing before referee Nets. The present order reflects he should be paying $78.50 each month. The last payment made in this matter was on March 3rd of 2021 for $250. He paid that amount himself. There was a bond posted by Mr. Boyer to release him from jail in this matter. That bond amount is $2,656. Front of the court's requesting that be forfeited and applied. This is his second bench warrant. He's had 4 prior show causes with no findings of contempt. Compliance was measured over 12 months with him paying $78.50 each month. He made no payments during that time, leaving him short $942 for the year. Current arrearage through the month of April is $11,555.86. There have been no previous jail sentences in this matter.
Okay. Just, Mr. Sackreiter, do you dispute or contest any of the statements made by Ms. Fladdick?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for Ms. Fladdick?
Yes. Ms. Fladdick is front of the court have holding Mr. Boyer's driver's license?
Yes, it looks like it was suspended many years ago in this matter due to non-compliance.
Okay. And what does he need to do to get his driver's license back?
Him and I went through that at length. There's 4 different ways that he could go about driver's license rescission through the procedure. He could pay the arrears in full. He could begin paying as ordered for a couple months. He could make a one-time lump sum payment in the amount of a couple months of obligation, or he could provide the friend of the court with a letter that indicates he would have a job with income withholding applicable should we rescind his driver's license.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sackrider, any proofs?
Call Mr. Boyer.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Boyer, you heard the testimony. Was there anything that you disagreed with?
Nope.
Okay. Are you employed?
No, self-employed.
And what kind of work do you do?
I do computer work, networking.
All right. And how much do you earn per month on average?
On average, I'm going to say probably $500 to $1,000.
All right. Ms. Plattix said that you have failed to make consistent payments. What is the issue with making payments on your support obligation?
I just haven't had a lot of money, and I've got a child in a home to keep up myself, and I know that's not an excuse, but that's the truth.
Okay, you posted a bond in this matter of $2,656. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you willing to put that towards your arrears?
Yes.
All right. She testified that she has gone over with you the ways to get your driver's license back. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you willing to do that?
Yeah. Yep. Well, I can't pay the whole thing. I mean, I can do the couple months continuously.
All right. Are you currently looking for work?
Yes.
And approximately how many applications did you do, let's say last week?
4, maybe 5. I don't remember for sure, but I know it was at least 4.
Okay. And are you getting any responses?
Yeah, from ZipRecruiter, I've gotten quite a few responses. I thought I was going to have an interview, but I haven't heard anything yet.
Oh, okay. Why only 4 in a week?
I've just been going through ZipRecruiter, Lenza, and another one, just looking for jobs that are close enough that I can get to and from without incurring more trouble.
Okay. And how have you been supporting yourself?
Side jobs and the help of some family. I can't hear you.
My apologies. Are you willing to participate in a LEAP program or have a program that helps you find employment?
Yes, if that's what the court feels deems necessary.
All right. Anything else you would like to tell the court?
No, I don't believe so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No further questions.
Okay. Sir, what's the highest grade that you've attended?
I have an associate's degree.
Okay. Is that in the field, as you stated, computer and all that, the networking, et cetera?
No, actually, it's in manufacturing technologies.
Have you pursued any job search in that field that you have your degree in?
Yes, those are the jobs I've been applying to. Most of them were into maintenance or facilities maintenance.
Well, in case you're wondering, is Denso is hiring at the current time, and they're looking for all sorts of individuals, and they pay a substantial income. So you'd have an opportunity if you applied there.
Where is Denso at, sir?
Out in Fort Custer.
Oh, Battle Creek area?
Yes.
Okay.
There are a number of other companies out there hiring at the current time. And for the most part, they need people, and they've really relaxed any requirements that have if the person's willing to work. Anything else you'd like to tell me, sir?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Sackrider?
No, Your Honor.
Court will, in this matter, find that, again, Mr. Boyer is, as he states, he's self-employed. He says he makes an average of $500 to $1,000 per month. And as a result, he clearly has the present ability to pay child support, especially because his support obligation is so minimal. It's $78.50 per month, but he has not been paying in this particular matter. He states that he's looking for employment. He's made, in the last week, he put in 4 to 5 applications. He could do that, especially with zip recorder, where you do it online. You could do that in a matter of minutes. So the court's not impressed with his attempt at acquiring employment by putting in applications. He does have an associate's degree in manufacturing technology. So he has the ability to work, and he has simply not been utilizing those particular skills or taking advantage of that. And as a result, the court will find he's not made a good faith attempt at compliance. He's failed or refused to comply, and therefore he is in contempt of court. Anything before sentencing, Mr. Sackrider?
Yes, we would ask the court to take notice that there have been no previous contempt findings, that he did post a bond, substantial bond of $2,656 that he's willing to put towards his arrears. Given the support obligation, minimum support obligation, we would ask that he be sentenced to time served, and that the court not impose any further jail sentence so he can find employment and begin paying on the obligation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, the court will first forfeit the bond previously posted in this matter. The court would order that Mr. Boyer would participate in the LEAP program, and that will allow him to hopefully acquire employment and be able to pay his support obligation. What the court's going to do, the court could sentence you up to 45 days in jail, sir. I'm not going to do that, but I do believe that some potential jail time is appropriate. What I'm going to do is sentence you to 10 days in jail with credit for no days served. The court would allow you, and I'm setting your purge amount substantially low because of the bond that you did post in this matter. I'm going to set your purge amount in the amount of $200. I'm going to order that you report to the Calhoun County Sheriff no later than 4:00 p.m. on May 10, 2024. If you, in fact, pay the purge amount of $200, then you do not have to serve the time in jail. You understand that, sir?
Yeah, so I have to pay the $200 before May 10th, or I have to do 10 days in jail?
10 days in jail, correct.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. That will be the order of the court. You will get some information on the LEAP program as well, Ms. Platty.
Judge, I do believe Mr. Boyer is outside of the geographical area for LEAP,
Oh, okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, then court would not order you to participate in LEAP if you're outside of the area. The court would tell you in this matter, Mr. Boyer, that again, court, at least I am much inclined to revoke suspension of driver's license, because I understand that if you're going to work, you need to be able to commute to work. And so the court would, but again, in this matter, you have, again, a couple of things. She's let you know what happens. If you get a letter stating that you do have an employment, she would rescind the suspension, or if you pay for a couple of months, you don't have to pay that much. You have to pay less than $160 over those couple of months, and then she's willing to work with you to get your license back. So I'll just, again, inform you of that as well, so that you get your license and then you can work. Do you have any questions, sir? Any additional questions, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. That will be the order of the court. I'll tell you, pay the $200 or send your 10 days, or otherwise, if you do not show up to that, the court could hold you in contempt of court. It's just basically the court could send you up to another 93 days in jail. So make sure that you take care of that.
Okay.
You're free to go, sir. Have a good day.
Yep, thank you.
Versus Carmucci Heath. In this matter, Mr. Heath is before the court on a bench warrant hearing after failing to appear for a show cause on March 22nd of 2024. That is his first and only bench warrant. He's had 2 prior show causes and no findings of contempt. The present order was signed in on January 3rd and reflects he should be paying $340.50 per month total. Compliance was measured since the time that order entered at the $340.50 per month. During that time, he should have paid $1,702.50, and he paid $1,337. So that leaves him short $365.50 over that time frame. So he has made payments every month. They're just falling just a little bit short of compliance is what we're looking at. Current arrearage is $3,494.50. Last payment made in this matter was for $267, and that was paid on April 24th of 2024. And he made that payment himself. It looks like he was ordered back into LEAP back last year. It looks like he went through the program for a short amount of time, but ended up not fully completing the program. And since that time, he's just been making the payments on his own, but falling short of compliance each month.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, do you contest or dispute any statements made by Ms. Platic?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions for Ms. Platic?
No, Your Honor.
Any proofs?
Yes, I called Mr. Carmucci. My apologies.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you heard the testimony of Ms. Platic. Was there anything that you disagreed with?
No. The only reason why I have a high rearage total is because they had me paying like way more than I should have been paying, and then they had just got the new order right, so it's really not an issue to pay what they're asking me to pay now. It was just when it was they had me with more overnights with one of my kids, and the other, like, that was too much for me. But with the 267 and then me paying with the rearage, I can do that, but I just couldn't do the other order. Like, I just couldn't afford it.
All right, so you took steps to have that changed?
Yeah, because it wasn't fair, because the nights that they had me, I wasn't getting credit for, and I like had my kids more than what they were giving me credit for. So it was like taking care of them still and trying to pay a high amount like that. It was too much.
All right, she testified that you're making payments every month. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you employed?
Yes.
And what kind of work do you do?
I'm a cashier down at my dad's barbershop.
All right, and how much do you earn approximately per week?
Just $300 a week.
All right, she testified that you're consistently short on child support obligation. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, but I had like, since I get paid under the table, I start doing a little bit more and staying longer down there so I can, pay more and complete the required amount.
Okay. She testified that you failed to appear at a March 22nd, 2024 show cause. Were you aware of that hearing?
No, the only because it was in the mailbox, but like I went without checking my mail, and then when I seen it, it was too late. It wasn't like I was avoiding a court date or anything, but it was just I didn't see it. So
okay. Did you pay an amount to resolve the bench warrant in this case?
Yes.
How much was that?
150.
And when was that?
I'm not sure the date, but.
All right. What's the plan to make the full payments in the future?
Just keep paying it. Like, that's really the only issue. Just to pay the full amount.
All right. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Ms. Platic, I have a question after Mr. Carmucci spoke. What was his prior support obligation before it was changed in January?
Prior to that, the current support alone was $462. And then there would have been an amount added towards arrears as well.
Okay. Well, the court will make the following finding in this case. I see that based upon, that his support obligation was, again, higher than what he is currently making. So that's been adjusted. The court notes that he had previously made, again, payments. I think it was $1,337 that he has been making consistent monthly payments, although they have not been the amount to satisfy the current support obligations. Mr. Carmucci, I'm not going to hold you in contempt at this time. What we're going to do is I want to have this matter reset and adjourned for approximately 120 days. We're going to see what you do in the next 120 days. And at this point, now that it's adjusted, you need to start paying your current support obligation of $365.50 per month. You understand that?
Yes.
If you do, over the next 120 days, then the court's not going to hold you in contempt if you are in fact compliant in that. If you're not, then the court could do that and could sentence you to jail. But I'm giving you this opportunity because it looks like you are making a good faith attempt at compliance. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. You're free to go. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Judge. That is all I had for you today.
Thank you. Mr. Sackrader, thank you for your marathon service today. You'll have to do something. You have to do something to get back at Mr. Sullivan, though.
Oh, man. Poor Kevin. Every time we
Yes,
get
he
him,
owes
it's like
me a steak dinner or something.
Yes.
I feel like you always get the laundry list when we have it.
Okay. Have a good week, Mr.
Morning, guys.
Bye, Judge. Bye,
Morris, Attorney Jansen Miller for the defendant.
Good afternoon to everyone. Court will note that this matter is before the court on the motion to exclude child filed on February 13, 2024 by the defendant in this matter, represented by Ms. Jansen Miller. And today is the time and place. Ms. Jansen Miller, do you wish to make an opening statement or proceed to your proofs?
Okay, Your Honor, I'll just proceed to our proofs.
Hold on, before you do that, Ms. Morris, do you wish to make an opening statement, reserve your opening statement, or waive your opening statement?
I can waive it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Jansen Miller, you can proceed.
Thank you, Judge. I would call Logan Morris as my, well, actually, scratch that. I'll call Courtney Morris as my first witness.
Okay.
And presently, you are still married to Logan Morris, is that correct?
Correct.
And he's the defendant on this action?
Correct.
And during the course of your marriage, you became pregnant, is that correct?
Yep.
And the pregnancy that you recently had a baby, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that pregnancy, you had a DNA test for, correct?
Yes.
And the DNA results indicated that Logan Morris is not the father, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you believe that to be true?
Yes.
Okay. As a matter of fact, you're in a relationship with a gentleman that is named as the father on the DNA, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you asking in the course of your divorce that this baby would be excluded from your divorce proceedings with Logan Morris and that child would not be a product of your marriage?
Correct.
Okay. I have no further questions for this witness.
Okay. Morris, I have one, and in preparing for the hearing today, I went back and I did note that we had a hearing in this matter. I think it was back on January 8th, wasn't it? 10th? Yeah, that's right. We had a hearing on January 10th in which proofs were put on the record in this matter. And at that time, the court asked you if you were pregnant. And
Yes.
your answer was no. Why did you answer no when you knew you were pregnant?
Because I was under the impression that it would be under Logan's child, which I knew it wasn't. After I left the hearing, I called my mom and asked her if I should have said yes. Then I did call and talk to Christy and told her, I said, I think that I answered incorrectly.
Well, I guess I'd say, as I do note that Ms. Jansen Miller did attach some attachments to the motion. And on January 8, 2024, you did a posting that said ultrasound, happy third trimester, 2 days before you testified falsely to the court.
Yes, sir, I did.
Well, I want you to know I'm not going to take action at this point, but the court could hold you in contempt and could put you in jail for contempt of court. You understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
I'm sorry for that.
Well, I'm just mentioning it for future reference. If, again, it probably would never happen where you came into court again, but again, if you were in my court again and that came up on any issue and we found out that you were testifying falsely, you would go to jail. So, and you could go to jail up to 93 days. So we don't take these things lightly when somebody lies to the court. Okay. Ms. Jansen Miller, any additional witnesses?
I just real briefly, my client.
Okay.
Okay. And you heard all the questions that I just asked Courtney, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you do not believe that you are the father of this child?
Nope.
And you would, like as part of your judgment of divorce with Courtney, to have the child be excluded as a child of yours of this course of marriage, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you understand that that's final and you would not then be able to go back and claim that child or anything to that effect, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Sir, do you know when the child was born in this matter?
He was born March 17th.
Okay. In this matter, knowing that the child was born in March, on March 17th, that would put the time of conception sometime around maybe June, somewhere in that area. At the time that the child was conceived, were you engaged in any sexual relations with the plaintiff?
No.
Okay, ma'am, I'm asking him questions.
Sorry.
Okay. That's fine. Ms. Morris, do you have any questions of the defendant?
I do not.
Okay. Ms. Jensen Miller, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Would you like to offer the DNA test results?
Yes, I would, Your Honor. I believe they've already been submitted to the court.
Well, but they're not offered and doing.
No, yes, I just didn't send anything separate today. I would like to offer those as our exhibit as proof for the determination.
Okay. The court will admit the DNA test results in this matter, there being no objection. Anything else, Ms. Jensen Miller?
Nothing today, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Morris, do you have anything else?
No, I don't.
Okay. Ms. Jensen Miller, do you wish to make any closing argument?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Morris, do you wish to?
No, I don't.
Okay. Court has heard the testimony in this matter for both the plaintiff and the defendant. They both have confirmed through their testimony that the defendant in this matter is not the biological father of the child. Has been provided with a DNA test report dated 4/10/2024 of the alleged father, Michael Messer, and the minor child. And the results show a probability of paternity of 99.999999999% in this matter. And the testimony of the plaintiff is that they did not engage in sexual relations with the plaintiff at the time of conception of the child. That is consistent with the other testimony as well as this report. And as a result, the court will find that this child does not issue of this marriage, is not the biological child of the defendant, and the court would exclude him as the biological father. Ms. Jansen Miller, do you wish to send in a separate order on this? Did you send in a separate order that's in the file? I don't know.
I don't think we sent an order yet. We just had sent the DNA results.
Okay.
We do not have one, Judge.
Okay. If you would send in a order, I'll let you sign it under, or send it in under 7-day rule and exclude the defendant. And further, if you would, the court would terminate that support obligation as of March 17, 2024.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Jansen Miller?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Ms. Morris, anything else?
No.
Okay. Thank you all for attending. You're free to go. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.